The storm didn't just knock the power out, it stole the world. One moment, I was borrowed on the sofa, the blue flicker of a nature documentary painting the living room walls, the sound of rain, a comforting drum roll on the roof. My 6-week-old daughter, Chloe, was finally, blessedly asleep in the bassinet beside me. The next, the TV died, the lamps winked out, and we were plunged into an absolute, suffocating black. The rain didn't sound comforting anymore. It sounded like a siege. I sat frozen, waiting for my eyes to adjust. They didn't. This wasn't a country dark, softened by starlight. This was a city blackout dark, a complete absence of light that felt solid, like being buried alive. I could hear Chloe's soft, rhythmic breathing, a tiny anchor in the overwhelming nothing. Then I heard the other sound. It was a low, grating scrape, like something heavy, immensely heavy, being dragged slowly across the hardwood floor of the kitchen. My breath hitched. I was alone. My husband, Mark, was on a business trip. The house was locked up tight. It's the storm, I told myself, my heart beginning a frantic tattoo against my ribs. A tree branch is scraping the side of the house, the old pipes groaning. The dragging stopped. In the void it left, a new sound emerged. Breathing, not Chloe's gentle sighs. This was a wet, rasping pool of air, like lungs filled with mud. It was close, too close. A cold terror, pure and primal, seized me. I slowly, silently lowered my feet to the floor. My every instinct screamed to run, to grab Chloe and flee. But to where? The doors were yards away, hidden in the black. The windows were shuttered against the storm. And that thing was between me and the exits. I had to get to my phone left charging on the kitchen island. I took a single, shuddering step forward, my arms outstretched, feeling for the armchair, the coffee table. The rasping breath hitched, as if listening. I froze. The only sound was the hammering of my own blood in my ears. Then the voice came. It was less a sound, and more a vibration felt in the marrow of my bones. A dry, ancient whisper that seemed to come from everywhere at once.
I haven't needed it so long.
The words hung in the dark, sucking all the warmth from the air. This was no branch, no pipe. This was a presence, a thing with a conscious, ravenous hunger. Chloe whimpered in her sleep. The rasping breath stopped. A new sound replaced it. A slow, deliberate sniffing, like a hound catching a scent. A low, eager croon vibrated through the floorboards.
Little Marcel,
The voice whispered, dripping with a terrible, saliva-thick longing.
so fresh.
The stakes weren't about me anymore. They were about the tiny, defenseless life behind me. My fear didn't vanish. It was incinerated by a white-hot fury. This thing, this horror in the dark, was looking at my daughter like she was a meal. The dragging started again, faster now, more purposeful. It was moving past the kitchen doorway into the living room. I could feel the vibration of its weight through my bare feet. I could smell it, a dank, earthy odor of old soil and rot. I abandoned stealth. I scrambled backward, my hands flailing until they connected with the wicker of the bassinet. I grabbed the handle, my knuckles white, and started pulling it with me toward the hallway that led to the bedrooms. It was a dead end, but it was away from that thing. The dragging became a frantic, grating shuffle, keeping pace. The thing was fast. The smell of decay grew stronger, cloying.
Run, little mother.
The voice gurgled, a hideous mockery of play.
It's sweet as the meat.
I stumbled into the hallway, yanking the bassinet behind me. My back hit the wall. I was trapped. The thing filled the end of the short hall, a deeper blackness in the black. I could hear the wet sound of its mouth working. Think. I had to think. It lived in the dark. It fed on silence and fear. Chloe, startled by the jostling, began to cry. A thin, reedy wail that sliced through the oppressive quiet. The thing let out a shriek of pure rage, a sound of tearing metal and shattered stone. The darkness itself seemed to recoil. Light. It hated sound. But maybe it also hated light. My emergency flashlight. It was in the nightstand drawer in my bedroom, just feet away. But to get it, I'd have to leave Chloe. Step past the bassinet, toward the thing. The dragging started again. It was at the mouth of the hallway. I could feel the chill radiating from it.
Hush, my sweet.
It whispered, its voice now a grotesque parody of comfort, aimed at my crying daughter.
Hush.
Making a decision that tore my soul in two, I let go of the bassinet. I plunged down the hallway, my hands lapping against the wall, counting the doors. My bedroom was the last on the left. A dry, leathery touch brushed my ankle. I screamed, kicking out wildly, my foot connecting with something solid and unyielding. I fell through my bedroom doorway, scrambling on all fours towards the nightstand. I yanked the drawer open, my fingers closing around the cold, cylindrical shape of the flashlight. I whirled around, thumbing the switch. A beam of pure, brilliant light speared the darkness. The thing in the hallway let out an unearthly howl. For a fraction of a second, the light caught it, a shapeless, shifting mass of shadows and glistening, coal-black flesh, with a maw that opened into an impossible abyss. It recoiled from the light, as if from a physical blow, scrambling backward, its dragging now a frantic, scrambling retreat. I advanced, holding the light like a weapon, driving it back down the hall, through the living room. I followed the stench, the sound of its painful hissing, until the beam found the open basement door. The door I always kept closed. With a final, hateful gurgle, the thing retreated down the basement stairs, melting into the deeper blackness below. I slammed the door shut and dragged a heavy chair from the kitchen, jamming it under the knob. The power came back on an hour later. The light blazed alive, revealing my home exactly as I'd left it. The TV flickered back on. Nothing was out of place. Nothing was damaged. But some things can't be unseen. Some sounds can't be unheard. We moved out the next week. Mark thought I'd had a severe postpartum episode, a waking nightmare fueled by storm-induced isolation. I didn't argue. How could I? The new family loves the house. They say it has a great energy. Sometimes I drive past it. I see the children playing in the brightly lit living room. And I wonder if they are a family that loves lots of light, who play music loudly, who fill every silence with noise and laughter. I hope they are, because the thing that feasts on silence is still down there in the dark, waiting for the lights to go out, and it hasn't eaten in so long.